Welcome. Welcome to the Spaghetti Stream 003. Point 1 point what 3.0000 point. Okay, whatever. Number 3. Hope everyone's having a great day. This is the beginning of the stream, therefore nobody's here, but probably maybe one person will show up. That's fine. That's totally fine. This is only the 3rd stream, you guys. So I don't expect thousands and thousands of people yet. In a couple more streams, I do expect thousands and thousands of people for sure. Oh, I can just do, hold on. I didn't even do the intro. There's the intro. Okay. I really need to get a really good intro because that would just be fun, right? There's some podcasts I watch that I enjoy watching, and they have really fun intros that are like well edited and cool, where there's like all this crazy stuff going. Actually, like a lot of it is like they put their heads on like movies on other people, like actors' faces, and then it's just funny. It's just funny. I've done that before. If you've ever edited something, I'm sure you've done that because it's a lot of fun. So I should make an intro like that, right? Or have someone make an intro. But I could do it. Right? I know how to edit. But I'm just checking the live online just to make sure it's going here. Software connecting stream software to start preview. Yeah, it looks like it's going. Cool. All right. Hope you're having a great day. It is the number 3 stream of SpaghettiOverdrive.com and on YouTube and on Instagram, not on Twitter, and on also TikTok. But I post all the same stuff on every single platform, so like whatever, you know. Oh, let me just type in the chat. Hey, how's it going? There. Now hopefully someone will respond. Today there's some news there's actually quite a bit going on with like 3D printing news and stuff like that, and there's quite a bit going on with AI, with 3D printing, with what's the other thing? VR, AR, that kind of stuff. Especially with one of the things I'm most interested in is with AR glasses. I just think that's the most interesting thing because I think it's something that can be adopted by the masses a lot more than VR, which is going to be like a big clunky headset, which by the way, I just ordered through eBay, interestingly, what is it? The Quest 3, 512 gigabyte, whatever. Because eBay had like a Klarna thing where you can make payments over time. And I was looking for that because I was like, you know what? I was a gamer back in the day when I was younger. You know, back when there was the PlayStation like 2. And that's when I kind of stopped playing. 2 or 3. Xbox 360 maybe. I don't know, around there. That's when I kind of stopped playing. I was like, I'm done. And but I used to play a lot, and now I always am watching videos on YouTube. Not always, but I watch them frequently where someone's playing a video game or something, and I'm like, that's really cool. It'd be cool if I was a gamer, and then I would play it, but I'm not, and so I won't. But I think here every now and then I'm like, should I get like a PC and start playing video games? And then I'm like, do I really want to like commit that much time to playing video games and like not do other things that I want to do, like build Spaghetti Overdrive, for example, or focus on work? But I'm always focused on work. So I'm like, maybe I should. At some point, I'll probably get like, I don't know, what's the most popular one? PlayStation or Xbox or whatever. Whatever's the most popular, maybe PlayStation Station. And start playing some games, because there's some really cool ones that are out. And, things like, what is that? Stellar Blade and all these other ones of people. The one that was a little while ago, the mech one, where you fly around in like a mech suit and stuff. And so I'm like, man, I really should get into video gaming, but I really shouldn't. I'm torn because I want to, but then I'm like, I got other important things to do. But then I'm like, okay, but I got like a couple hours here and there free, and either I spend it watching YouTube, which I already do, or I play a video game, or I watch an episode of Gundam Wing, which I've been watching. I've been watching Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. This is from the 90s, mid 90s, I think, either 92 or 96, I forgot. And it's a great series. Encourage everybody to watch it. But it's like one of those series where it's like 20-minute long episodes, and they have like mini plots in almost every episode that they finish within the episode, and it's like it could be fleshed out more, but it's good. It's good. So I'm like, either way, I could spend my time that I already spend on entertainment, whether it's watching like Mobile Suit Gundam Wing or watching YouTube videos, which is typically what I do. Is like always been my entertainment. It's watching YouTube videos. Or I could get like a PC and play video games. Not PC. I don't think I'll do that. It'd be like PlayStation or something like that. But then I was like, well, what if I do something that's kind of a combination of useful as well as entertainment, and that is kind of futuristic? And so I was like, well, let me get a VR headset. And I've had the Quest 2. And it was cool. The quality was not super amazing, but it was cool because of the games and everything. And I mostly did it for working out. So I had like I had Beat Saber and a couple other like punching games, like boxing, and then I played a couple other games here and there. But I was like, let me try the Quest 3 because it should be a lot higher quality, and let's see what they got going on right now with the Quest 3, because I'm still interested in VR. I just am not quite seeing what it can be used for other than video games on it and watching stuff, which again is really cool. But there are some ways that you can use VR for productive stuff, like immersed VR, which is where you can have screens and use your computer. So I'm going to try that too, because you can apparently do that with the Quest. You can do immersed, which, yeah, I do remember. I think I did that with the Quest 2, where you can connect your computer to it and have multiple screens. And that I think is really cool, because then it's just like, I'm using my Air, but you can only attach one monitor to it, which is lame. So then you have two screens, and that's great and everything, but I like 3. So like I like 3 screens. So if I could connect 2 to it, that would be amazing. But unfortunately, it's lame. But with like an immersed thing, I don't even need monitors. I can just have it virtually have like 3 monitors. Theoretically, we'll see what I can do with that with immersed. But that's one thing where I'm like, that's a great way to use VR. Of course, watching videos and movies and stuff, and then also video games. So anyway, it'll be cool to explore it again. It's been a few years since I had the Quest 2. Yeah, it's been a few years. It's been like 2 years or something maybe. So that'll be cool. So I ordered the Quest 3, and also I was like, I wonder what you can do with like 3D stuff, because you can do like sculpting and stuff on VR. You can be like sculpt in midair, you can sculpt something. And so I'm going to try that out, although I'm not a sculptor. So I don't know exactly how you can like do 3D stuff other than sculpting in VR, or if it's even like, does it even matter? Like, is it better to use a mouse for like stuff other than sculpting when you're doing 3D work? Because I can use Fusion 360, but that takes a mouse, obviously. Can you do that with the little handles with the if it's just sculpting, then I guess I'll have to learn how to sculpt, because that's an actual like artistic talent that takes physical skill. So I never really thought about like being good at sculpting, but maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I can sculpt something. In other news that has to do with me, I guess. So I bought that, and then I almost bought another Bambu or another 3D printer, because all these sales going on. But first of all, let me talk about my giveaway. I'm giving away $100 MatterHackers gift card, and that's going on for like another week now, I think. Actually, do I have it right here? Let me pull it up here. What's my website? SpaghettiOverdrive.com/ I should put it on the main thing, /giveaways. Yeah, here it is. $100 gift card giveaway. You can go to SpaghettiOverdrive.com /giveaways for a chance to win. 1,500 entries already, which is... That doesn't necessarily say how many people have entered, because you can get like, I don't know, what is this, 100 or over 100 entries. So it's probably 10 people. It's probably 10 people, which is decent. I mean, for this sort of thing, it's a $100 gift card giveaway and there's 7 days left. You can enter in all these different ways. This, by the way, is gleam.io. This is like a giveaway website, which apparently Mr. Beast uses. But if you go to, let's see, MatterHackers.com, and you can see you can buy anything for $100 on here, which, frankly, if you're going to buy like a 3D printer, there's like no 3D printers that are $100. Except I have one around here that I'm going to like destroy for a video because it's kind of not very, at least this one was not very good, this copy. But you could put it towards something, right? So like Bambu right now, and this is one of the other things I was going to talk about, it has a sale, which you may already know. And then there's also Amazon. So like there's multiple sales that are coinciding at the same time. Amazon's had their, what is it called? Amazon Prime Day. And so there's sales on there. There's sales with, I believe, 3D printers and stuff on there too, and filament and all that stuff. And then Bambu's having a sale. MatterHackers is having a sale coinciding with Bambu. So yeah, I believe so it says right here what the sale is: $250 off, $250, 10% off, 8% off, and so on. And MatterHackers is cool because you could buy the Bambu stuff from the Bambu website, Bambu. But the thing is, MatterHackers can also do like bundles for you as well. So let's see, we got up to 40% off. So you could do bundles if you needed filament as well, and you could get like MatterHackers filament. So like this right here, EDU bundle, no AMS, you get spools of filament. You can get free MatterCAD. There's different things that MatterHackers offers that Bambu Lab may not offer, which is pretty cool. And so I recommend getting a Bambu because they're great. I have one myself. I have a P1S, which I took home actually. But also the more popular one, or maybe not more popular, but I guess the one that has like awards and stuff is the A1. It's great, but it's limited to just like PLA and PTG and maybe a couple other ones because it's not enclosed. But it's cheaper. Now, if you want a cheap machine, I highly recommend the Centauri Carbon, which are like on back order right now. So if you go to Centauri Carbon right here, I highly recommend the Centauri Carbon. The reason why is because I used it multiple times before I blew it up. And we're still waiting for the nozzle replacement because I blew up the nozzle because I jacked up the temperature and it went. But it worked great. Like I printed, do I even have it somewhere? It's over there somewhere. I have so much stuff. Okay. I got to get rid of all this stuff. And I even got rid of stuff like twice already, and I still have a bunch of... And there's actually even more because I printed like a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, it's somewhere. I don't know. It's probably under there somewhere. Anyway, it is a NERF blaster, right? Here's an example of a NERF blaster, but this is not even close to what it is. Anyway, it's a blaster that shoots NERF darts, right? All right, you already know this, all right? Shoots NERF darts. So I printed one that was like a 3D printed version, and on this machine, the Centauri Carbon, and it came out awesome. Like the print quality was excellent. I was like, wow, is this even better than Bambu? And also, I've watched another video. I can't remember who it was on YouTube. Let's see. Let me just go to YouTube. Yeah. I don't know if the history is here. Centauri Carbon. So if we go to Centauri Carbon, who was it? Was it this guy, Elegoo Carbon Copy, or something more? Uncle Jesse. It was one of these guys. I don't know if it was Uncle Jesse or... Let's see if I can find it real quick. Frankly Built, maybe? It might have been Frankly Built. Anyway, one of them mentioned, yeah, I've been using it, and it's been super reliable for the past X amount of months. Can't remember how many months he said. And prints excellent. And I was like, that's the experience I had. Even though I didn't print on it for a long period of time. It was probably like over a month or so that I was printing on it. several prints, and they all came out great. So I highly recommend this because it's $300 basically, $329 depending on where you get it. Pre-order on here because, and I believe it's probably the same on their website. They're fulfilling back orders apparently. Elegoo is. So you could pre-order it, and yeah, for the price, it's excellent. And like, yeah, this is the one I would get if I was like creating a print farm and I didn't care about like having an AMS, because that's, I don't believe you can have an AMS with this thing. So, or at least there's not one available for it yet. I don't know if there's any plans for it, but same build volume as a Bambu, the 256 millimeter cubed squares cubed. Yeah, I would get like 6 of these. Actually, I want, and by the way, so we got another machine in here for the office, and it is a Bambu X1C. And after we got it, I was like, wait a minute, we could have gotten 3 Centauri carbons for one of those X1Cs. And I mostly print PLA and PETG. Now I have been doing more. I've been doing a lot of ABS because where's all my stuff? This is a bad example. This is one part of many for another NERF blaster, which is the Mammoth Mega XL. Actually, I'll show it to you right now. Mammoth Mega XL. Mammoth Greg. This bad boy right here. The Mammoth Greg 240 plus FPS half Mega XL sniper rifle. Now this thing shoots Mega XL darts. I was not planning on like grabbing a bunch of stuff and showing you, but here's a regular dart. There's a regular dart. Man, that camera's like way far away. Here's a Mega XL dart, or a bag of them, so you can see the different size. This little tiny thing versus this big thing. So yeah, it's many times bigger and heavier. And 240 FPS for shooting one of these little guys is really pretty powerful. It's on the higher end. You can go higher than that. There's blasters that go higher than that, 300 plus. But that's more rare and that's harder to do unless you get a blaster that's like built for that. You might have to do a lot of like tinkering to get up to that higher level, and it's can be harder to use. But there are some blasters that are, built for 240 plus FPS. But that's for the little tiny darts. If you're talking about these huge darts, that's crazy, because that's like, I don't know how many times more, maybe 10 times more heavier, more mass. You're shooting that thing, it's gonna like break stuff and potentially kill someone. Like if you shoot someone in the head with that big of a dart, you could do some damage. So that's why there's like all this like legal stuff here where it's like, this blaster is extremely powerful and dangerous. It's made exclusively for plinking, test shooting, and record-breaking events. It's never to be used against a person or any living creature. There's a risk of serious injury or death. And they're right, because that's powerful. Like shooting one of these little things hurts when you get hit, but it's so small that like you could take an eye out with one of these things. That's why they always, when you're doing like a NERF event, when you're playing, they want you to wear eye protection, because you can go blind if you get hit in the eye with one of these. With this thing, it'll go through your eye socket and probably hit your brain. Yeah, and you get hit in the head with this, like in the temple. I don't know, man. That could be some serious damage. And there's a video which actually shows. Give me a second here. It actually shows the guy. It's the Greg guy. That's not his real name, apparently. The guy who designed it. But it shows him shooting it through a bucket. So let me find it here. Greg. And yeah, here we go. So this is the guy. Can't really see from there. There's a close-up shot though, or he brings it closer. Poor Lowe's bucket.
And that's why we don't shoot these at our friends.
Yeah. So
okay.
So this is Misplaced Moose, and he's I believe he's the one that created this. Actually, I've not done the research to find out if for sure, but it sounds like it because the website's Moose Mod Shop, so I'm guessing it's the same guy. But apparently that's not his name, Greg. I don't know why it's named Greg. This thing is $645, fully built. And you might go, well, yeah, there's Greg. Or the guy who made it, not Greg. Michael at MatterHackers told me that it's not his actual name, so I'm like, okay, I don't know his name. That thing's huge. And you could see why it would cost $645 because, first of all, it's a custom-built blaster. It's huge, second of all, so it's going to take a ton of material to make. And it shoots that high performance. So with that high performance, you need parts and you need hardware that can accommodate that power. And so, yeah, I can see how... And then, like, I'm assuming he prints it and then builds it for you. And so all that takes who knows how many hours of time. I don't know yet because I haven't finished building mine. You can see it's in pieces. But it's so far I've gotten to the point where I've just like looking up how to build it. I haven't even actually started building it, barely. So $645, you know, that's expensive, but probably reasonable for a fully custom blaster that's this big with that much performance that shoots mega XL darts and all that. However, you can get the kit, the hardware kit, and print it yourself. So here's the hardware kit, $220. You can also, by the way, buy all the parts separately, but it's just easier to get the kit. And the thing is, $220 for all this. And then you can buy your own 3D printer you could get the Centauri Carbon for another $300. So you're at 220 plus 300. What was that, 520? So you're up to 520. And then you need probably 5 rolls of filament for this thing. And if you can get it, you can get filament for under $20. So let's just say 20. Was that 20, 40, 60, 80? So that's another $100 for 5 rolls of filament. So now you're up to, with a printer, $620, right? $620, and you could print your own. And then you'd have a printer. So you spend $620, get the kit, get the filament, and get a printer. Print it yourself and build it, which is pretty fun. It's pretty cool to print your own thing and build your own thing. And there's instructions online. And you can keep the printer so then you can print more stuff. So that's what I would recommend. Get one of these Centauri Carbons, get a bunch of filament for $100, and then get the kit, and then you can build your own. And it's a really cool project. It'll probably take a week straight of printing, like, or more, because I think I used like 2 printers, and it took a week with 2 printers. So imagine, yeah. It'll take you a week of printing, and then probably another week of building it because, well, you know, you could probably build it in a day, right? A few hours, but you just need, yeah, it actually, looking at the instructions, it could be like a couple hours or something. But like it's taking me longer because I'm like shooting video of the process and making sure I do it right and all this stuff. So, and because I'm a little, yeah, you know, I'm not sure if I have many brain cells in my brain. I never did like, welcome to the podcast. I should do that more often. I also have this. So stupid. Yeah, so anyways, that's what I would recommend. Unless you're like, you don't care about 3D printing and you're like, I don't want to build it, I just want to shoot it, then fine, whatever. And you got the 600 and whatever dollars. But I'm just saying, like, get a 3D printer, and then you could print other stuff. And that's, of course, if you're looking to buy one of those in the first place, right? If you're like, wait, Chris, I'm not even trying to buy a NERF blaster. But why not? Why not? So I went over my little thing, Elo Goose Centauri Carbon. Oh, and the P1P is like $400, I think. Let me take a look. So P1. So the P1S is mine. I like the look of the P1S the best because it is dark black versus. Hey, where's the P1P? Where's the search? Where's anything on here? Products. Okay, but really, where's the search? There's no search. P1 P1P. Here we go. P1P. The free gift offer is now ended. What? Oh, I guess maybe there was like a free gift offer. Okay, so it's $400 with the sale right now. $400, or you can get a Centauri Carbon for $300 or so. I might get the P1P for $100 more because it's just a much more refined machine. It's a Bambu. You get all the Bambu software and everything that you can use. This is a better printer than the Centauri Carbon, and it's $100 more. So get this, but for like $100 more, right? Like, plus they have like payment plans. I don't know what it is on MatterHackers. Might be different. I don't even know. Do we even have the P1P? But we're in line with the on MatterHackers. We're in line with the discounts, I believe, on Bambu. P1P. I'm not sure that we even. I don't know if I've seen the P1P enclosure. Yeah, I don't know. We may not even have it. So the point is, though, like, if you can spare the extra $100, get the P1P because it's better than the Centauri Carbon, and it's so cheap right now. And then, like, because it's open, you can get the enclosure later on, and then just install it, and it becomes a P1S. Yeah, because the P1P is the same as the P1S. It's just the P1S has enclosures, and the P1P is open, so it's a little cheaper. But it's the same. So that's a good deal. That's a good deal. That's a really good deal. So even get one of these and then get the Mammoth Greg sniper kit and then print it. And then later get the enclosure. So yeah, that's a good price. What else we got going on? So all the sales are going on. I'm doing a giveaway, so be sure to go to spaghettioverdrive.com/giveaways and enter to win a $100 gift card to MatterHackers website where you can buy filament. You can spend that. You can get 5 rolls of filament with that. 5 rolls of filament. That's a lot. That's 5,000, 500 grams, 1,000 grams, 5,000 grams, right? Yeah. Yeah, 5,000 grams of filament. That's a lot of filament, man. That's enough for a big Greg Mammoth blaster. Yeah. That's enough for a blaster. And then you could shoot buckets. You know how many buckets you could shoot with that? You could shoot so many buckets. You would need a bucket for every shot because it'll break every single time. Yeah. I personally think that's a good idea. That's a great spend of money. I'm going to be honest with you. That's like a really good spend of money. Bunch of buckets. So there's also deals on Amazon. Let's see what we got going on Amazon. So the Bambu sale is over in just like like 2 days, I think. Right? 15th. And then Amazon, let me make sure I'm not like... So Amazon, let's see if there's any sales going on Amazon still. Amazon haul. Is their thing over now? What was it called? Prime Day. July 8th to the 11th. So it's over now. It's over. Sorry, there's no more Prime Day. Yeah. Expanded. Oh, what? They're gonna do like what some of these like holidays and are like, you know, like Pride Day got expanded like Pride Month. Amazon Day is gonna be expanded to like Amazon Month, and then the whole year is just gonna be a huge discount, which I'm fine with. I guess it's over. I don't see like any sales going on, unfortunately. So, scammers on Facebook tried to ruin Bambu Lab's big 3D printer sale. Did you see this? Did you see this? So be careful, guys, because let's see. Be careful because there was and still possibly is scammers on Facebook trying to ruin the Bambu Labs 3D printer sale. So just be aware of fake ads and stuff. I would just go straight to the website, bambulab.com. Because some of them will have like some kind of weird website. This is what the fake ad looks like. Let me see if I can open it up here. It would look like, at least this is one of them. Wrong page name. It should be Bambu Lab 3D. Here it says Bambu Lab. Bambu. Oh, so the page up here is Bambu. It should be Bambu Lab, the Facebook page. Unprofessional photo. They like to have professional photos that are nice and like edited and clean. This is like some random person's garage, which that would be a cool garage if you had 8. Is that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 8. I'm learning how to count again. 8 bamboos. That would be awesome. But yeah, that would not be something that Bambu would use probably. And then wrong URL should be us.store.bambulab.com for American audience instead of bambulab.com, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, they also will use websites. Like if you go to the link, it'll be like, what is it called? BL something. blmake.pro or something like that, you know? And that's no good. Should be bambulab.com or yeah, us.store to whatever, Bambu, whatever. And they will scrape the website and then create a duplicate of it. So, and then they will scam you. Also, if the price looks good, too good to be true, it probably is. So like if the H2D is $574 instead of $2,000, they're not going to lose $1,000 per unit. That's a little bit crazy. Ooh, Elegoo Orange Storm Giga. Now that's an interesting machine. I'm printing currently on the Orange Storm Giga. I'm printing a Roman column. And it's like 3.5 foot tall or however tall the maximum height is, which I think is like, oh, it's right here. 1,000 millimeters tall. I'm printing a Roman column because my other one broke. Everybody should have a Roman column, I think. This machine is like, how much is it? $2,400 or something? The Orange Storm Giga, 800 millimeters by 800 millimeters by 1,000 millimeters tall. That's huge, and it's like the same price as an H2D basically. So why not get that? Well, I mean, there's reasons why you get the H2D over it, but as far as build volume goes, that's crazy. That's insane. So just, watch out for the scams. You got a couple days to get scammed. So good luck on not getting scammed there. That's on Facebook. I don't know if anybody there's any other scams in Facebook. Now, there's a Bambu H2S leak, ladies and gentlemen. There is a leak. Let's see. I don't even remember what. Okay, I got to put some labels on these so I know which one is which. Yeah, there's a leak, everybody. Yeah. Okay. My production value is excellent. I kind of want to play some music while I'm doing this, some melodic trance or techno music, but I don't know if I could get like copyrighted. Let me close all this stuff. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's okay. There is a new leak of the apparently same machine. It is the H2S, apparently. The H2S is what it is possibly called instead of the H2D. Now, what does the D mean and what does the S mean? Is D dual nozzle? Is S single nozzle? Oh, I think I just figured it out. Dual nozzle versus single nozzle. Okay. What about, can we have 4 nozzles? Can we? More leaks from Bambu Lab reveals that the new single nozzle sister, single S, H2S, to the H2D is coming soon. The H2S was accidentally included in a manual for the cutter module in the Bambu Lab wiki. Can we go to this? Oh, so this is the Bambu Lab wiki. H2S. Can I find it? No. All right, where's the page? Let's see if we can find the page. Cutting module. Cutting module. Wait, where was it? Cutting. Oh, it's okay. So it's like. Let's see if we can find the exact picture. Is it not on here? Did they take it out? They might have taken it out. Can't find the same image. This is not even the same image or anything. I don't know why they sent me to this page. It's not even the right thing. In a manual for a cutter module, we reported in June on a leaked photo that appeared on X with a blurry image that claimed to be an X Bambu printer. So this is the one that everybody's seen, I believe. Yeah, it looks like a mess. It's probably some kind of dragon or something being printed. And that image showed a 3D printer roughly the size of the H2D with only one nozzle. And so I guess with the one nozzle, it's going to have more print volume, right? And it shows on the picture, on that picture that I just showed you, that it was 340 millimeters. Because with two nozzles, it can't only go so far in either direction, and so it reduces your millimeter count because of that, and which is lame on the H2D. But with one nozzle, you have more space side to side. We have no further information on the H2S, H2 single nozzle. I'm going to go ahead and guess that's what it means. What else would it mean? As it has not been released for review yet, the manual slip up, although like iPhone has made like an iPhone S or like the 3S or the 5C, I don't know. So it could just mean nothing. Could just be like whatever. Has not been released for review yet. The manual slip up only covers the cutter attachment, which shows how to install on both the H2D and the H2S. Which is right here. Install the cutter module H2S. Yeah, I didn't find this. 24, page 24, ladies and gentlemen. It's on page 24. The drawing of the toolhead confirms the earlier leaked photo, which showing a single rotating extruder wheel like the A1s, where it's got the little extruder wheel that spins around. I can't show you. It looks like the picture that I just showed. It looks like this thing right here. But it's not green. It's yellow, actually. And black. Yellow and black. Like a bumblebee. Fans of the Bambu Lab have been pleading, oh my gosh, for a 3D printer larger than the X1C or P1S. Why did they say that? They're the same size. And we're disappointed with the high cost of the feature-stuffed H2D, which I wonder, A, how well they're selling. B, I haven't really looked at this on YouTube. Maybe I'll do it right now here in a second. How many people are actually using all the features of the H2D? Like, maybe some people are using some features, but then other people are using the other features. But is someone using all the features? Because that would be like the ideal scenario is you buy an H2D to use all the features. If you were just going to use one feature or another, why would you buy an H2D? You would just buy like a laser cutter, or you would just buy a 3D printer that's not the H2D, so you could not have to spend so much. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I'll look it up here in a second if I can find any information on how the H2D is going. The H2D, I mean, it's a great printer. We have one here. Yeah, it's really nice. I wish that the build plate was bigger. It has the H2D has a build volume of 350 by 328 by 325, which is weird. I don't like that at all. Make it even, please. 350, 350, 350, just for my sanity. Not because it's necessarily important to be even. But we are even creatures. You know, as human beings, we are even creatures. We like to see symmetry. Symmetry. Not symmetry. Symmetry. Symmetry is something else. Significantly bigger than the typical 256 build volume of the X1C. Yeah. But the H2D doesn't say how big the H2D was, but one of the numbers said 340 on the H2S on the leak photo. Right here. 340. So So yeah, but the thing is, like, even that's lame because I'm like, why not make it like the K1? Is it the Creality K1? K2 Plus Max, whatever. K2 Plus, K2 Max, which is like 350. I think it's 350. Why 340? Anyway, whatever. Okay. Anyway, 10 millimeters. We all wish we had another 10 millimeters. Anyway, but although the H2D already has a less expensive model that ships without an AMS for $2,000, it's a far cry from the $819 P1P. The P1P is $819? I thought I just saw on their website it was like $700 and something normal price. $800 seems high. I got my P1S for around $800, but it was discounted several months, like 6 months ago or something. It was like there was another like discount that they had. Could have been like Black Friday or something like that. I think it was a Black Friday thing. I think that was a while ago. The H2D is a laser capable. Even if you don't buy the laser attachment, the H2D is ready for one with all the extra safety precautions, sensors, cameras, flame resistant coating. Oh, it has a flame resistant coating? We still believe that the larger, less expensive 3D printer without any possible way to attach a laser could just be the printer the market is looking for. Yeah, I'm assuming I'm somewhat of an average consumer as far as like 3D printing goes. I just want it to work as far as like a Bambu goes. I'm fine with tinkering with it a little bit here and there, but I don't want to be spending like hours building it and figuring it out and all this stuff and like programming it. That's a lot of other people like to do that. I'll do that 5%, not 50%. And I just want a bigger build plate so I can print bigger stuff or more stuff all at once, you know. And I'm fine with PETG, PLA, and now ABS. I've started printing ABS. And I'm happy to start trying some other filaments too, like stronger filaments. I want to print like nylon and stuff. Not sure if the P1S can print nylon. Yeah, but I just want a bigger plate because I'm especially me. I'm printing all these big things lately, like this giant guy. Rah! So this I had to print in 2 pieces because, well, it was just too big. But if I had like maybe, what is that? Let's just say 400 millimeter build plate, I could have printed it all at once. I haven't named him yet, so that's for a video. Put him over here. There we go. Yeah, right there. Perf. There's cables in the way. But yeah, I mean, I would like a 400 millimeter build plate. So the Orange Storm Giga, by the way, has 400 millimeter squared build plates. I would like an Orange Storm Giga. That's what I would like. If I'm going to spend $2,000, I'll get an Orange Storm Giga. You can print huge stuff with that. We still believe that a larger, less expensive 3D printer without any possible way to attach a laser could be just the printer the market is looking for. Yeah, because like, I don't know. I didn't do the math and like I don't know the analytics, but what's the market for a laser? Everything else all built into one thing: a toaster, a microwave, a blender, and a 3D printer all in one. If it worked well, I don't know, maybe. But for some people, it would be probably the perfect printer because some people are like, yeah, I do all that stuff. I have like a maker space. I need a laser. I need all this stuff. But I personally just need a bigger plate. And I think that's probably, and now maybe like there is something to going to the more expensive thing first, because like Tesla did that with when they first started out. They put out their sports car, which was like $100,000 plus, whatever it was. What was that thing called? And they said they were going to build another one, but they never did. Like a model. It was the convertible that started out with like a Lotus, and then they modified. Anyway, and many companies do that because that's actually a pretty good strategy to start more expensive with the first products if you're just starting out, because those people have money to spend. Like people who can afford the more expensive products have money to spend, and then you can go down to cheaper products, and it could be a better way to go. I'm just saying that out loud. I don't know why. I don't know why it's the case that might be a good idea. It just sounds like it. A lot of times people do that. They go like on the higher end and then go down to the cheaper stuff. So maybe that's what they're doing here. Maybe they're like, let's start with the more expensive thing, and then let's do a less expensive thing. And they might just use like everything about the H2D, but then like strip it down. They might use like the shell. They might use like a lot of things about it, a lot of the parts from it. Since we don't have any other insider information, let's take another look at the leaked photo from June together. Okay. Now you're just padding your article, all right. We adjusted the contrast in the photo, replaced a few arrows. That's great. So, yeah. You can see the similarities to blah, blah, blah. The edge of the platform only shows one number, 340. The last number is always the build height, so this printer is 15 millimeters taller, has a little more headroom than the H2D's 325 millimeter build height. Finally, there's 325 is not enough of a difference from 256. It should be 100 millimeters more, right? But anyways, there's a faint white stamp on the lower right corner, 2542. This would suggest the photo is recent. You don't say. Really? The date would suggest the photo is on the date? Thank you. That's great. So I guess that's it. What is this? This is a... Yeah. Anyways, thanks for the padding. That wasn't really much of anything. That was just like, oh yeah, there's another thing confirming, and now we have possibly the name, the H2S. H2S. Oh, I should change the name of my this video to H2S. But anyways, so that's the leak. Not much more. It's just maybe that's the name. H2S sounds like that's the case. And that's basically it. There's no other information. One thing that I found is this cool Snapmaker printer. Oops, I just copy pasted that for some reason. This thing looks cool. Now, I think this is like the next thing in 3D printing is we need more tool heads, like switchable tool heads. That would increase this, well, according to this, 5x more speed, 5x less filament. So yeah, those are like two things that could be improved greatly with 3D printing is speed and then filament waste. And there's of course probably other things, but those are two of the probably several biggest and most important things is speed and then waste. And this thing right here has 4 tool heads, so like increases the speed. More waste. I mean, make more waste less. Oh my gosh, why is that hard to say? Make more waste less. Print time with this U1. How big is this thing? This looks kind of small. Print time, 42 hours. This thing is 42 hours? Dang. Yeah, I guess so, because it's like an AMS type of thing, so it's got a lot of... and then others, 99. So save 58% of the time, according to them, of course, which, you know, probably in ideal situations, and like they made it as good as they could. Filament used 877 grams versus 1894 because I'm guessing you don't have to purge the filament every time you have to switch it, so that the color changes in the nozzle. You don't have the previous color in there still. So that's a huge savings and probably not very much poop. 5 times faster printing with 0 purge. So 0 purge. That's fantastic. Cutting, loading, heating, purging, then repeat. Switch materials in most multicolor printers feels like an endless cycle. Well, yeah, that's because it is an endless cycle. Duh. With the new Snap Swap. I know it's Snap Swap, but I'm going to call it Snap Swap. Because it's just easier to say. Snap Swap. Snap Swap. Snap Swap. With the new Snap Swap. Nah, that sounds dumb. Who thought of that? Come on, guys. Snapmaker. First of all, they're like, make more, waste less. These are like tongue twisters almost. Make more, less west. Make more west less. Oh my gosh. That is a tongue twister. And now they're like snap swap. Dear Lord. I'm going to call it snap swap. With the new snap swap system, U1 can not only switch colors or materials across 4 printer heads in only 5 seconds. 1,000, 2, 1,000. That's pretty fast. But also reduces filament usage to just 20% of the usual amount. Now you can save time and filament for what truly matters. Oops. Whoa. Ooh. Ah. What is this machine? It doesn't have a logo or anything on it. We don't know what it is. Well, I'm sure someone knows what it is. I have no clue. Filament swap in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dang, that's actually really fast. Holy crap. I'm going to watch that again. See, this is what we need here. This is the innovation we need, guys. We don't need a laser, wood cutter, 3D printer, microwave, candy dispenser all in one. We need something that drastically increases the speed, like swapping print heads in 5 seconds. This is what we need. So this is exciting. Like, yeah, the H2D is exciting because it's Bambu and it's a really nice machine. But this is the innovation I'm looking for, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I want. I want double the speed, triple the speed, quadruple the speed. I want 0 waste, 20% waste, 50% less waste. Filament swaps don't have to take forever. Your time is valuable. Yes, it is, as a matter of fact. Other systems spending more time changing filament than actual printing. Period. The U1 snap swap system does it in a snap. Oh my gosh. Snap swap in a snap. Does it in a snap. Is this a rap? Are we rapping? Are we snapping and rapping and swapping? Is this a snap swap rap? Dear Lord. Letting your printer spend its time. You can turn this video off at any point in time, by the way. Letting your printer spend its time on what really matters. Printing. But that's insane, though. I really like that. That is a good idea. Come on, Bambu. Let's do that. I'm going to have to buy one of these. With the Core XY structure, each U1 toolhead hits 300 millimeter print speed, 500 millimeter travel, 20,000 millimeter a second acceleration. Squared! Paired with Snap Swap, U1 delivers high-speed multicolor printing you can truly feel. Okay, what is the Bambu print speed? Ladies and gentlemen, what is the Bambu print speed? Let's look it up on the P1S. Just gonna... Gemini will tell me, right? Gemini is wrong sometimes. Bambu P1S print speeds. The print speed is maximum is 500 millimeters a second. Maximum print speed. This one is 300. So it is slower. The maximum. It doesn't mean that it'll be that fast all the time, right? It's just going to be like that's the maximum print speed. Acceleration. So who knows if it's actually faster or not, because on average or in normal use, is it going to be faster or slower than the P1S? I don't know. Just because it's a maximum doesn't mean anything. Acceleration 20,000, same. Toolhead speed, hot and... Okay, whatever. Supposedly it could be faster. Supposedly it could be faster, yeah. Snap, swap, snap. Singing a rap with my snap swap. 300, 500 millimeter, yeah, okay. High speed multi-printing. So it might be slower, we don't know, than the P1S, which is my machine and what I am comparing it to. Cut the purge, cut the waste. So much waste. So much waste. Snap, swap, rap. All right, anyways. I only had one coffee today, so that's just mental. We'll just say that's low IQ. What I'm doing right now is based on the fact that I have a low IQ. Okay. There's another word for it, but I'm not going to say. On other 3D printers, printing a multicolor model leaves behind a mountain of garbage, often wasting 3 to 4 times more material than what ends up in the actual model. It does waste so much material, the AMS system. If this gets rid of it, like this should be like the innovation that all machines should just like copy, basically, right? And it will probably get there. Like Bambu will eventually get there. Other companies, and there's like, what is it? Prusa has like a multi-head tool head thing. Yeah. So the H2D has 2, so that's good and stuff. But 4 is better because it's one per color. If you're doing 4 colors, obviously. U1 avoids the waste with smart tool swapping. Saving filament, saving money, and even saving the environment. Booyah, benches. Benches. I didn't swear there. No purging. How does Snapmaker save filament? Wiping, swapping. Is this a Prusa? Purging. Yeah, see, that one's done. Loading, and they're even like speeding this up. Well, yeah, what was that, 120 seconds? I don't know what machine this is, but I'm pretty sure the Bambus are a lot slower than that. 120 seconds, that's 2 minutes. Okay, so maybe they're the same speed. Yeah. We've solved the hard stuff so you don't have to. Calibration is always a challenge in 3D printing, especially with 4 tool heads operating at high speed. By introducing a series of compensation algorithms, U1 delivers smooth, dimensionally accurate prints on par with single head printers. All right, that's good. I should hope so. Holding offset under 0.04 millimeters to ensure sharp prints without vertical shifts. All right. No more spooky shadows. What's a spooky shadow? Input shaping reduces vibrations from quick directional changes, helping keep surfaces clean and ripple free. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Yeah, I've seen ripples for sure. I've definitely seen ripples. Fine-tuned extrusions for exquisite details. U1 uses pressure advance to compensate for flow delays, reducing under and over extrusion for accurate prints with crisp details. I had this problem on my Mammoth Greg Sniper that I was printing. There's a couple pieces that had this situation going on right here, where it was like kind of chunky and wavy, and like I don't know what that was, but apparently it was flow under and over extrusion, possibly, on the corners. Nail the first layer, nail the print. The automatic mesh bed leveling delivers a flat, grippy first layer, setting the stage for every print. Okay, that's good. Reliability you can count on. Like all Snapmaker, I've never used a Snapmaker machine, so I don't know like how good they are or whatever. U1 is built for long-term stability. Every machine goes through intensive lab testing to ensure consistent performance and structural integrity, so your creativity never has to wait. Ah! What's next starts here. Like, do you think pretty much all machines in the future will have multi-head? Or at least every company is going to have like a couple multi-head machines, and maybe those are on the higher end, and then they'll have like just single-head machines on the lower end. For over a decade, Snapmaker's been helping making worldwide. They've been around for a decade. And then Bambu came in just like the past couple years, was it? Like 3 years? That may not be right. I actually have no clue, but I'm guessing it was the past couple years. Well, that looks cool. Is this on sale now or like, oh, notify me. Okay. Yeah, so it's gonna be coming out. Wait, did it say how big the bed was? Better be 256 by 256 by 256. Or bigger. Or bigger. Looks really nice. I want one. I think every machine should have 4 tool heads. Minimum. Now, one thing that I have noticed is that there's a lot of shoes, 3D printed shoes that come out all the time. And I like them. Like, I like shoes and I like the idea of 3D printing them. But I always wonder if they're going to be like, if they're going to last very long. You know what I'm saying? The future now. Adidas reveals the Climacool Laced. Do you think, like, what is this made out of, first of all? TPU? How long do you think this is going to last? I don't know. I mean, it's a mesh. Unless it's resin. It could be like a resin, like a flexible resin. Following on from the release of the Climacool shoe in 2024, the Adidas Climacool Laced is the next Laced? Is the next exploration of a new design innovation. I thought that was like, had to do with drugs for a second there. I was like, oh, laced with, yeah. It's laced with shoelaces, guys. Okay. Exploration of a new design innovation. The shoe has been created through a unique printing process to deliver a fit, look, and feel that is unachievable through traditional manufacturing. Will be available on July 15th, so in 2 days. Can we, like... I want to know how much it is. These 3D printed shoes are always like $300, $400. And these are kind of cool pictures, black and white. And I'm like, great. How long will it last? You want me to pay $300 for a shoe that may not last very long because it's 3D printed? But like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know any of this, but it's just like me guessing based on the fact that I've printed like TPU, which is pretty tough. But for a shoe, I don't know, especially with how thin and how it's mesh that is. Adidas has revealed that the next exploration of a totally new shoemaking process with the arrival of the Climacool Lace design. I wonder what machines they use. Designed and printed as a single piece, built seamlessly layer by layer. So, well, that doesn't say if it's resin or what, because they're both layer by layer. Blending upper and midsole elements through a single material. Okay, single material. The shoe delivers a soft and adapted fit complemented by a breathable and comfortable experience. I mean, you can't really see the layer lines here in this picture. It's not really like evident. Evidently so. The Climacool Laced has a deep understanding. Okay, so this is just like marketing gobbledygook. Gobbledygook. Lattice structures in architecture. The seamless structure of the shoe means no breaks or joints, no resistance, and no compromises. I like how they throw in like the marketing stuff with the, like, I guess that's what you do, right? That's supposed to like get me interested in it, I suppose. You tell like the technical stuff, but then you throw in stuff like no compromises. The 3D printer has 240 millimeters build volume and no compromises. Initially, Climacool Laced arrives in a bold and distinctive off-white contrast with a black lacing system, delivering the same experience as the Climacool shoe, but with a more flexible and adjustable fit and no compromises. The material breathes as it moves. It breathes like an elephant breathing out of its tusks. Out of its trunk. The tusks are not for breathing, providing cooling that helps to keep the wearer comfortable. Whilst? Why did they use the word whilst? What? Whilst? Whilst the design focuses on revolutionary simplicity. Who uses whilst? What? With features like ghost stripes on the lateral parts of the shoe, stripping back to the essentials. Whilst the Climacool shoe, revealed in September 24, was the first exploration of the advanced and unique additive manufacturing process. Okay, anyway. The shoe takes approximately 24 hours and includes spinning, baking, and compression using high-tech polymers. Spinning? What are they spinning? Baking? Compression? What does that even mean? Is that resin or is that FDM? What does FDM mean again? FDS? FDM? Fusion deposited material, I believe. Additive manufacturing has unlocked new possibilities for footwear creation. Okay. I just want to see if it's like what the material. Yeah, they're not going to tell you like how it was made or anything. Wow, I kind of like that thing right here. Here's another article that talks. Oh, this. Wait, is this the original Climacool? 2024. Yeah. So the other one. Oh, because this one doesn't have the laces. Yeah. Well, at least it's got laces now. Looks pretty cool. Like I like the idea of 3D printed shoes. I like the idea. I have not worn any, so I have no clue if they're going to be good or anything. Actually, I tried one once here. I think it was one shoe I tried here at work. And the thing is, like, with like clothing and shoes and accessories and stuff, shoes are, I think, one of the things that could benefit the most out of 3D printing because they are kind of it's a technically advanced thing to make, right? Like, you could easily make a t-shirt. Like all I'd have to do is, it wouldn't be very good, but I could like take a piece of cloth, like a rectangle, long rectangle, elongated rectangle, and and I could fold it in half, cut a hole on the top for my head, and then sew the sides and leave openings for my arms, and then I could make a t-shirt pretty easily, and it would probably be fairly comfortable too. But I could not really make shoes. I could make flip-flops. My guess is making flip-flops would take me longer. Maybe not. No, maybe not. If I had like some rope and like a piece of foam or something, it would actually probably be quicker. But shoes are more technically advanced. So just making that a lot easier to make with 3D printing. It's a cool idea. I think it would lower the barrier of creation with shoes to be able to 3D print them. Because again, like, it takes a higher level of skill, I think, to make shoes than with like a t-shirt or pants even. And so the idea is cool. In practice, I mean, there are like 3D printed shoes you can download from Makerworld and stuff, which are cool, and other websites. But to like design your own shoes can be difficult. And then whenever you like go online to buy one, it's like $400 or something, and you don't know how long it's gonna last or anything. But I still like the idea. I would like to buy these and check them out. So hopefully I can like save $400 or however much these things are going to cost. I imagine it's going to be $400. I guarantee it. I'm going to put my email in here so that I can potentially, well, okay, they don't show them on here. Anyway, I'll find it later. So I think it's cool. Shoes, 3D printed shoes. I have yet to print any myself. Are you wearing 3D printed shoes? Are you? Comment down below. We love 3D printing. We'll print brackets for brackets to hold other brackets. The most stuff I've printed, I think, is from my 3D printer itself. Someone joked about that, but it wasn't really a joke. It was like a comment on one of my videos, and it was like, you're going to print more, or he said, like, you print more for your 3D printing than for anything else. And they're pretty much right there. Every few months, someone announces a new line of 3D printed footwear. Do you really want your next pair of sneakers to come out of a nozzle? Most of the shoes are either limited editions or fail to become very popular. Yeah. But why? Obviously, there's some problems with them. You might be thinking, really? Is this a problem that the 3D printing is uniquely situated to solve? I think it is, but I don't think it's gotten there yet. You might assume that this has some... This is just some funny designs on some of the 3D model... Because, like, some of the stuff with shoes, like, you probably want to have, like, some cloth on the inside, and 3D printing can't really do cloth. But you could, like... You could put cloth. So you could put, like, an insole into your shoe. So I guess it does solve a lot of the problems. And a lot of shoes these days are made out of plastic, even though it's like threaded plastic, you know, like it's like all plastic. Ugh, plastic. But no. You might assume that this is just some funny designs on some of the 3D model download sites, but no. Adidas, Nike, and Puma have shoes that are at least partially 3D printed. We have to ask why. I wonder how much they actually sell. We are pretty happy with our shoes just the way they are, but we will admit, if you insist on getting a perfect fitting shoe, maybe have a scan of your foot. And a custom or semi-custom shoe printed is a good idea. Zeller Field lets you scan your feet with your phone, for example. CNC Kitchen has a look at these recent videos. Okay, the company is Also in my partnership. Okay, great. Or try a Vivo Biome. Oh my gosh. Vivobiome. Vivobiome sandal. I'm going to call it Vivobiome because they didn't spell it right here. They're supposed to capitalize biome. Except all. I'm just going into this. I don't even know what's on this website. It could be anything. Tabby. Okay. Whoa. Socks with sandals, huh? I do that all the time, actually. But you want to know why? It's because it absorbs the sweat. Okay. I mean, yeah, well, whatever. It's kind of cool, I guess. Vivobiome. We aren't sure about 3D printed bras, though. Okay, well, maybe the appeal of 3D printed shoes lies in their personability. Well, yeah, I would say so. I really like the idea of making custom shoes. I'm going to do it at some point. Creating self-printed shoes might make sense. You can change their appearance or otherwise customize them. Maybe you'd experiment with different materials, colors. Nothing like 30 hours of printing and 3 filament changes to make one shoe. And that doesn't explain why the majors are doing it. Yeah. Literally, it's going to be 30 hours of printing and 3 filament changes to make one shoe. There's one possible plus printing. Jeez, what's with these websites and tongue twisters? According to industry sources, more than 20 billion pairs of shoes are made every year, and almost all end up in landfills. Up to 20% of those shoes will go straight to the dump without being worn even once. Really? Dang, why? Are you serious? Because they don't sell or something? Or they're like gifts, and they're like, that's the wrong size. So maybe you could argue that making shoes on demand would help reduce waste. We know of some shoe companies that offer you a discount if you send in an old pair for recycling, although we don't know if they use them to make new shoes or not. Your tolerance for how much you are willing to pay might correlate to how much of a problem you think trash shoes really are. But mass-produced 3D printed shoes? What's the appeal? If you're desperate for status, consider grabbing a pair of 3D printed Gucci shoes for around $1,300. Accept all cookies. Cookies. Accept all cookies. Okay. But most of us, are you planning on dropping in a few bucks on a pair of 3D printed shoes? Why or why not? Let us know in the comments. All right, well, let's see what the comments say. Greg A says the obvious practical thing is a 3D printed insole. Typically how shoes are customized to your feet, just replace the insole. Most feet will fit fine with a standard outer sole and upper. $1,000 for custom insoles? That's how much they typically are? Dang, man. There's an abundance of resources now that will do it for less. A lot of them send you a box of some sort of modeling clay. So 3D print, but then like you're dealing with like 3D scanning at that point, and then you'd have to buy a 3D scanner. But there are ones for like $700 or even less. Or actually, you could use your phone. I don't know how accurate that would be. As someone who has used orthotic insoles and doesn't really have the money to put inside, you're right on the money with your company. Yeah. I wouldn't print the insole, of course. I would print the mold, and then you can make and then you could 3D print your own insoles. Or, I guess, how would that work? I don't know. Make the mold. Eh. Oh, and then like fill it with the foam. Yeah, I guess. What else? Everybody's talking about insoles here. Anybody that can take us back to custom fitting shoes and clothes and shoes is good. Guts the resale market. It's like every purchase would be a customized choose your own adventure done in rhyme or haiku. Not really, unless the individual an item is originally produced significantly outside the statistical norm. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. So, I don't know. I like the idea of 3D printed shoes. We'll see where it goes. There's like, I see a new 3D printed shoes every, I don't know, month that some company makes, a couple months. So I want to make my own for sure. And then there's also 3D printed houses, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the wonders of 3D printing and what it can do for us. And we've already known for a long time that there are 3D printed homes, which are really cool. They 3D print the cement, I guess. But this is, they're printing a bunch of them, I guess, using 3D recyclable, or what are they? being about so Brewer. What is that? Maine? I think it's in Maine. They're gonna print a bunch. They will be redesigning, or they'll be refining the 3D printed with to ensure it meets all code requirements. They are, here we go. Built with a large 3D printer and made of locally sourced wood, fiber, and bioresins. Aside from being fully, so I'm guessing that's like the interior stuff and all that, the walls and all that. Aside from being fully recyclable, the homes are intended to dodge challenges like labor shortages. What's that from? Anyways, and high material costs that have hampered the production of new affordable housing in Maine. Yeah. President Trump has cut pause or threatened nearly $50 million in funding to Maine. Oh my gosh. So yeah, a lot of 3D printing in housing. If you haven't checked, go on like YouTube and look up some stuff. It's pretty cool. They can look good. Here, I'll show you here. Let me look it up. Let me see if I can find a video. 3D printed housing. If you haven't seen 3D printed houses, pretty cool. I haven't looked it up lately, but I was into it like a couple years ago, quite a bit, and I'm guessing there's a lot more. So, ooh, this one looks dang. Okay, check this out. Check this out, homies.
Oh, I'm living in my dream.
India's first 3D printed villa. Pretty crazy.
Am I dreaming?
So that looks pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I like it. Let's see what else is going on. Anything recent? 3 years ago, 1 year ago, 11 months ago. 3D printed 1 year ago. It's more recent enough, I guess.
Have come a long way, from making little knickknacks to full-on houses. A year ago, you guys might remember I
literally a giant 3D printer, and instead of plastic, it's cement.
Luxury 3D printed house.
But as incredible as this house is, there is a huge catch. It's not exactly affordable.
This house, called House Zero, was built by a company called Icon and is really a showcase of what 3D printing can do.
The thing you have to keep in mind with House Zero is that there are a lot of different textures going on here. There's a lot of concrete walls, but there's also probably just as much wood paneling, plaster, and tile. But the issue is adding all this paneling and plaster gets really expensive. For these homes to ever be affordable, we've got to see what they're like with just the concrete. I worry that if it's only concrete
printed by a robot, but
I don't know what she's talking about. Like, you add all that stuff in any house and it's gonna increase the price. Like, you need the finishing materials, right? So
pretty much everything else still needs to be done by a human. When I was there, they had 8 printers going at the same time, so it's a very efficient operation. The houses in this development start at $475,000 depending on the layout, and they range from 1,500 to 2,100 square feet. Something really cool is these houses were designed by Bjarke Ingels Group. This is a...
Yeah, but where is it? That's the question. Oh, Georgetown, Texas? I don't know. That seems kind of expensive for Texas. So... But the point is, they look... It's pretty cool what they can do. That's kind of the point. In other news, there's a 13-year-old teenager that is a genius, and he printed a beehive for his house. Hold on, I'm going to close all this stuff. We're still in the news segment, by the way. This is just like random news. Yeah, check this guy out. There may be as many as 40,000 bees buzzing around in his beehive. Hopefully it doesn't break open and pour into his room. Go away. But yeah, this guy is pretty much a genius. Look, he's got Calvin on the wall from Calvin and Hobbes. He's got evil Calvin. While many 13-year-old boys might spend their summers playing video games or attending camp, Oliver Taylor decided to make a custom-made 3D printed beehive.
So this is my indoor beehive. I designed this in Onshape and 3D printed it, and I cut the back out on a CNC router that my neighbor has. The bees get in through this ventilation tube that leads out to this attachment in my window.
But why do you have it inside your house? That's what I'm wondering. Why is it in there? I guess just to see them, I guess. You know, it's kind of like a ant farm, but
The bees can drink through this little dish here that leads to a channel, which leads to kind of another dish outside where they can land and get their water. Each hive has 3 sheets of plastic foundation. So that's 6 altogether. This beehive is modular, so you can take out a door,
you can
attach
add to
more on. And I'm now currently working on a honey extraction system. Like, I'm gonna add some flow frames on this wall connected to there. And yeah, that's my beehive.
yeah, and this guy apparently builds other stuff too, like trebuchets and stuff. So yeah, 20-foot trebuchet. So I don't know. His name is Brian Mark Taylor. So I'll have to look him up here. I want to check out his trebuchet. Brian Mark Taylor. Trebuchet. Brian Mark Taylor is also apparently an artist, so I'm looking up the wrong person here. Anyway, so you know, that's something else you could, if you wanted to do, is print a beehive. So that's cool. Etsy 3D printing. So here's something interesting. Remember the whole Etsy situation where they kicked off all of the 3D printing sellers? Which, I don't know the full story there, so maybe it's just like, unless you made it, but how do they determine that? But recently, Etsy quietly changed its creative policy to eliminate, and now this is from, what was the date on this thing? Published yesterday, so July 12th. Etsy quietly changed. The policy change dictates that all 3D printed goods must be created and designed by the person selling them. Okay, well, so then that's, wait, but like if you have the license, then like you can buy someone else's license to sell it. But I guess they want it to be made by you, right? So I mean, that makes sense. Fine. But you're still printing it, right? So like even if you didn't design it from the beginning, you're still printing it and making it, so to speak. Or rather, I guess your 3D printer is making it. So maybe you're not really making it. This would remove a vast majority of 3D printed merchandise sold by makers and print farms alike, which typically buy files from professional artists. Despite our attempts to contact Etsy and a flood of content creators making YouTube videos on the subject, Etsy has not addressed the topic. Concerned Etsy shop owners have submitted support tickets. Non-original 3D prints are fine. Others saying they are banned. After nearly a month, Etsy has yet to clarify the policy. So there's another website called MyMiniFactory with a new offer. The company says can help address the blurry Etsy rules. MyMiniFactory this is what they're doing. We believe decentralized manufacturing is the cornerstone for scaling the consumer 3D printed market, but for years, talented creators and makers have been battling with platforms that don't properly support them. And they say they can fill the gap. They are currently only known as a digital file shopping site, but it also has files for toys and home decor. Okay, $25 a month. Anyone with a 3D printer can become a verified premium merchant and sell physical 3D prints on their platform. $25 a month. $25 a month? Is that expensive or cheap? Let's see. Shopify, I think, is like $30 a month or something like that. $25, $20. Squarespace has a shop that you got to pay for. So, I mean, I guess everything you got to pay for when it comes to a shop, having a shop. Unless maybe, except for maybe like TikTok or something like, or yeah, right? I don't know if that costs anything to put products on TikTok. There are a few problems. First, in order for MMF, MyMiniFactory, to verify that sellers have proper permissions to sell prints, they will need to purchase their commercial licenses through the MMF tribe system. So, okay. At the moment, people who want to legally sell designers' work can obtain their licenses or memberships through a number of sources like Patreon, Things, and Printables, which are competitors to MMF. So, yeah. I believe I've gotten a license. You can find people's. It's all disjointed. Like you watch someone's video and then they have their link to their Patreon, which you could subscribe to then get the license to sell their product. So it's like it can be hard to find stuff. Licensed 3D printer sellers on Cinderwing 3D's Discord. What is that? Cinderwing 3D are skeptical that MMF could replace sales currently made by Etsy. Love it or hate it, Etsy has established a reputation with shoppers. So there's your update with the whole Etsy situation. Apparently, you could sell on MyMiniFactory. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at MyMiniFactory. Was there a link around here? MyMiniFactory. Design STLs. I have never been to this website before. This looks cool. So you can buy people. Oh. Does this have NSFW stuff? Does this have okay. Scrolling down. It doesn't say 18 plus on the website. I hope it blurs stuff. Okay. We're just going for it. We're just going for it, okay? You got little lobsters. So you could, like, I guess, buy the 3D files of all this stuff and then... Okay, they cover it with hearts. They cover it with hearts. So it's all good. I've not looked through this, but some of them look kind of cool. Like this Darkwing Duck looking guy. So where is the thing? Tabletop, toys, home decor, tribes. Was it tribes? What was the thing? Tribes. No. Frontiers Canvas Merchant? What was the thing? What was it called? Premium Merchant. Yeah, so Merchant. Must be Merchant. Premium Merchants map. Discover official merchants validated by MyMiniFactory. Become a premium merchant. Official. Get visibility. Get 10%. I don't know. I'm not finding it. So they're not making it easy to find. I don't know. Is this what it is right here? Benefits. The sale of physical prints requires an active commercial license obtained directly from each respective creator. All commercial use must strictly adhere to the... Okay. So I guess this is it. Yeah, so I guess this is it right here. $24 a month. And then you can sell stuff. So maybe I should try this. Maybe I should try this, download the files, the license, and then print stuff and see if I can sell anything. It'd be a cool little project to see if I can make any money off of it, Of course, I'll be spending at least $25 plus whatever the licenses are of whatever things I want to sell, but it could be a nice little thing to try. So there you go. That's MyMiniFactory. That's like all the 3D printing stuff that I looked up. There was a lot of stuff going on in the past several weeks, and so that was kind of a lot of it. But I wanted to look through some VR AR stuff because it kind of like VR stuff kind of goes with 3D printing, sort of. It's like sort of connected. It's like because you can do there's a lot of 3D stuff in VR, right? It's like all 3D. And then you print 3D stuff, right? So it's like the same, right? It's the same. But I also, like I said, I'm going to try like sculpting and seeing what I could actually create in 3D on VR that I could then print, which I think would be a cool thing. I'll make some videos on it too. I'll be like, check out my 3D sculpture I did in VR, and it's going to look horrible. It's going to be like a mess. It's going to be like a pony, but it looks like a spider. But not on purpose. But there are a lot of like AR and VR products coming out. There's a lot of these, and I think these are like these AR glasses. There's a lot of companies coming out with them, and I think this is the thing that's gonna like take off the most with AR/VR is things like this because they're more normal. Now these are still kind of weird looking because they got like double lens, so they're not exactly like 100% there yet, but they look normal. So this is where this middle thing, which is like, it's got a screen, but it's not like this goggle thing that you wear that looks like chunky and big. But it looks basically like glasses is where what's going to take off and become more popular. And they're going to have limited use. They're not going to be as immersive and as useful as like a VR headset, but they're going to be useful enough that people would actually want to use them. When it comes to gadget specs, it's best to be precise. For example, if you were buying a okay, anyway. Virtue announced, basically with articles, you could just skip like the first paragraph because it's just a bunch of fluff. Viture announced a few pairs of upcoming AR glasses this week, but most exciting is Beast. Yes, that's really the name. 4K-like resolution. Well, it's actually 1080p, but it's sharper. Yeah, so, but what does it show? Is it like an actual screen on there? I want to know. Flashing light warning. All right, this is like some kind of cinematic crap. Okay, I guess it's screens. It's just a cinematic thing. It's not really showing me anything. 100% please. And if you're still hung up on the marketing, I don't blame you for... What do they do? I'm going to go to the website. Screw this. For Switch 2? Oh, really? Oh. I want to get a Switch 2 for work purposes, not to play. Come on, guys. It's for work purposes. But I did a series for like Pimp My Bamboo where I printed a bunch of stuff to upgrade my P1S. And I want to do the same thing with Switch 2 because obviously it's very popular right now. And it'd be cool to see what kind of upgrades you could do with 3D printing on it. And I'm going to do the same thing with the Quest 3 that I got. I'm going to do all these, whatever 3D printed stuff you can do with it, and possibly even design my own stuff. But apparently these are screens on glasses, so it's just like screen glasses, basically. Which, like, is pretty cool. Like, again, something like this, if you could get it down to a couple $100, but you can use it with your computer and have, like, multiple screens like this right here, that would be awesome. Like that could be worth it because then you're talking about multiple screens and improving your, what do you call it? Productivity. Improve your productivity, multiple screens without having to buy hundreds of dollars worth of multiple screens. You have like, you could have effectively, you know, $600, $700-800 worth of screens in like a $200 package. Now this is like $600 or something like that, but even so, like that would be worth it too. If you think about how much screens are, if you want that many screens, right? Which I think, like, if you could get something that was cheap and then get multiple screens, I think everybody would do it because it's just so much better. It's so much more productive. So it would be really cool to, like, if I had the money to try every single one of these AR glasses, I kind of want to do that. Does it have anything to do with 3D printing? Not really, except that with what I'm doing, you know, a lot of what I'm doing has to do with productivity, using the computer a lot. All the back end stuff is like editing and all this stuff. So it has to do it on the back end, right? Like of a YouTube channel, for example. And so I kind of want to delve into that too. That's why I want to get into VR and AR. And yeah, VR, AR, AI. All that has to do with the back end of like a YouTube channel and also with 3D printing to an extent. But it's all kind of like the new technologies anyway. So like 3D printing is kind of like a new technology that realizes in the real world, whereas VR is like in the fake world. And then AR is like a combination of real world and fake world. So it kind of all goes hand in hand, right? It's not just because it's fun to get a VR headset and play games on it. That's not why I'm getting it. Absolutely not. Shh. 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 And shh. And I am going to, and maybe, I'll expand this channel to be not just 3D printing, but it'll be 3D printing, making, AR, VR, AI, combine all together, technology, maybe primarily maker channel. Or maybe it won't work. Maybe that won't work. I don't know. Maybe that's too broad. Maybe that's too broad. And then finally, let's just go over this last one right here. This is talking about virtual reality in general. So tech promised virtual reality would revolutionize entertainment. That moment may be finally closer than we think. Yeah. It's always like closer than we think. But the thing is, it just feels like it's been like that for years. Like, oh, it's virtual reality. It's gonna do stuff for us. There's some games. Virtual reality was supposed to transform entertainment. Okay, this is specifically talking about entertainment. That was the expectation roughly a decade ago with the arrival of the Oculus Rift, first virtual reality headset that many believed would push VR into the mainstream. The industry has failed to deliver on that promise. Was that really a promise that there was? Like, who promised that? CNN. But tech and entertainment giants alike believe that moment could be closer than ever. And they're going to make another article that says the same exact thing in 3 years. They're going to be like, the moment is closer than ever. So what is the evidence? Well, the evidence is there. Meta is in talks with Disney, A24, and other entertainment companies to produce immersive content for its Quest VR headsets. Okay. That is definitely some evidence. Apple announced an update to its Vision Pro headset in June, enabling users to share content with other headsets. Ideal for watching movies together in 3D. All right. Earlier this year, Apple has also launched an immersive Metallica concert for the Vision Pro and announced in July it's readying its first upgrade to boost the Vision Pro's performance. An immersive Metallica concert? Go away. Taken together, this signals that tech and media behemoths are still betting that consumers will spend hundreds, if not thousands, to experience concerts, movies, and sporting events beyond the confines of a traditional screen. Now, the chicken and the egg paradox is that to be able to have the content on your device, there has to be good enough content. But to have good enough content, there has to be enough sales of the device to warrant the money spent on the good enough content. That is the chicken and egg paradox. To woo entertainment content, they need mass adoption, but to reach this scale, headsets need premium content. Now, people are watching more and more non-premium content, right? So YouTube. So you don't necessarily need premium content, but I guess that will bring in additional consumers, right? So I think the it moment is when you're regularly engaging in experiences in mixed reality that are super complementary and part of your integrated life. Is that a robot speaking? I think that it moment is when you are regularly engaging in experiences in global shipments of augmented reality and VR headsets increased by around 10% in 2024 to 7.5 million and nearly 30% in the US. Oh. Nearly 30% in the US? Dang. Wow. So it's increasing quite a bit. Although IDC predicts shipments around the world will tumble this year due to delayed product launches, expecting a massive rebound in 2026. With worldwide shipments surging 98.5%? Holy crap. In 2026? However, the results haven't always lived up to the hype. Mark's metaverse, is that still going? I'm going to find out what the metaverse is all about when I get my headset. Wow. And it cost them $46 billion. Oh my gosh. Reality Labs lost $4.2 billion. Yeah. Tech giants continue to experiment, which is great, you know. So, okay, so then paradigm shift. So although big names like James Cameron and Sabrina Carpenter are already beginning to explore VR, it has yet to gain the widespread popularity. Yeah. You need to build natively. So, you know, it's not quite there yet. It hasn't been quite there yet. It'll still not be quite there yet for a long time. But things are happening now. So we'll see. With more proprietary or native, I should say, content apparently being created, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. Now, stuff like this, new technology, it takes a long time for it to develop, form, and then reach mass adoption. Or it doesn't and it just dies off, But yeah, it takes a long time. So, or it can take a long time, I should say. I guess there's technologies that take off more immediately. But at the same time, like, if that happens, probably it's been developing over a long time anyway, and it just finally reached the point where it can take off. Like AI wouldn't have been able to take off as fast as it did without previous development of computers and graphics processors, all that stuff on the back end. And like the way AI works, I believe, has actually existed for quite a long time. It's just more recently taken off. So, but that's about it for now. Any final word here, CNN? Content, the way it is consumed today, is going to be much like we think of black and white movies, where if a film isn't immersive, it doesn't lose its value, but it becomes something of another era. Yeah, well, it'll be cool to see what the immersiveness will be. So if you think of like IMAX, they have like all these like crazy IMAXs where it's like they got screens on the side that are, I guess, supposed to mimic. I haven't actually been to one, which I should go to one. But they have like additional content with screens on the sides that's supposed to be more like a VR type of experience. But if you could just do that in a VR headset, then, and a VR headset could make your screen huge like an IMAX, and the sound could be amazing because you could be wearing really high quality headphones or use your home sound studio sound products, speakers, whatever. And that is your AR and VR news, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope that you really wanted that because I gave it to you anyway. That's pretty much it for today. Don't really have anything else. Just wanted to chat, and say hi and have a good time talking to you guys on YouTube. And yeah, so this week I'm going to continue making YouTube shorts. I'm going to try to do this podcast every weekend. I want to have other people on it. I think it'd be cool. We'll see how popular it gets, Podcasts obviously can be very popular, but this is a pretty specific niche, which is why I'm trying to figure out how to expand upon it in this sort of like podcast format. Like, how do you expand on this sort of thing? Like, who talks about making stuff in a podcast? I actually, truthfully, have not researched this very much as far as like shooting a podcast talking about making stuff. Is that a thing? So I don't know if the format is good for it, but at the same time, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be like, if you just have good personalities, if you just have cool people that are chatting about stuff, it could be any specific niche and it could still grow very big. So, and if I can find a way to expand on like expand from like this particular niche of making with 3D printing, while still that being my core thing, but then talking about things like AR, VR, and other technologies that can also bring in other groups of people that might be interested in this show, that could be cool. Because then there's a lot of cool VR, AR stuff, and I've wanted to do some stuff in AR and VR for a while, and I tried another channel doing that. That didn't get anywhere, but yeah, maybe I'll expand this, and I'll still do like the 3D printing stuff because I like making stuff in real life, right? And it's fun. But then also expanding to like VR, AR, and other technologies. And 3D printing can be part of those too. Like, you can make 3D printed stuff for VR. You can make all sorts of stuff. Like VR has a bunch of accessories. So like guns, for example, for like shooting games and stuff like that. And even like prototyping, if like I wanted to make my own headset or something like that, which I would have no clue how to do that. But the thing is, like, anything that requires a plastic enclosure, right? So, yeah, I'm not going to make a VR headset. I have no clue how to do that. But like I could make my own shell is what I'm saying. So like I could take a 3D printer, 3D scanner, for example, scan the shell and then like make a new shell for it, which might ruin it, but whatever. So I'm just trying to think of like how I could expand the niche that I'm in. Because from what I've seen, like the makerspace, you can have a good amount of following. But if you go even niched down even more, you can get like a good audience in that particular niche, and it doesn't have to be millions of people. It could be even just hundreds of thousands, and that would be great. That would be a success. But I'm thinking, can I do more than that? So maybe I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here as far as like what I can do with this channel. But that's why that's why I'm trying to go down the entertainment route with this channel, because I think there's going to be a broader audience for entertainment versus specifically 3D printing. And the maker space is definitely broader. So like making stuff in general is broader than 3D printing. And that's kind of more where I want to be, is like making in general, but then also some other stuff. So maybe it'll be like a more of a variety channel focused on futuristic tech, right? So futuristic tech. But I really appreciate you guys watching these videos, and make sure to go to spaghettioverdrive.com/giveaways and enter for a chance to win $100 for MatterHackers.com, or you could buy a bunch of filament, 3D printing stuff. There's also like laser printers and water jet shooter things to cut stuff and things like that. So check it out. And yeah, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time on SpaghettiOverdrive.com. Bye.